Hey guys, okay, so my camera's doing something really weird where it like zooms in and zooms out, and I'm really sorry if that shows in the video, but I've tried to fix it and it's not working, and I already told in the last video that I am not camera smart and I'm not going to waste my time fixing this video, or the camera. Anyways, so I wanted to discuss something today that has been a constant theme in my life for the past month, month and a half, and maybe 2 months. And today especially it came up because I was talking with my parents at the dinner table about the idea of chivalry, and I thought it was really interesting that my dad, he took one side while my mom, me, and my sister took another side. And I think, well, obviously because like my dad's a boy and my mom is a girl. Um, and I had yesterday, I had talked to my dad about something that I had seen, which I'll explain later. Um, and I thought, maybe I should share this. Anyways, so yesterday, no, not yesterday, a few months ago, I had went to an event, and afterwards I went out with my friends. Um, and this is like the first time that I actually like when I'm not with my parents, like Muslim people, especially Muslim people. Like this is very important to know that everything that I'm going to be talking about, has to do with Islam. And really, well, it does in a bigger sense have to do with like the power struggle between a man and a woman, like um, in any culture, but specifically Islam. Like the behavioral norms that you'll see will be like talked about in a more Islamic sense. So anyway, so this is the first time that I had actually went out with a group of people where there was like a mix of boys and girls, which I thought really interesting, like Muslim boys and girls. And I don't really like doing that. Like it's really weird for me. Like I'd rather just stick to my friends that are girls. And if you're Muslim, I guess you'd understand that. Anyways, I'm not like boy phobic. I go to school, like I know how to act around them. It's Muslim wise. I find it different, which shouldn't be like that. It's like, you know, um, we're all men and we're all women, so we should all act. Okay. Anyways, the point is, I went out with this group of people, and I noticed that like one of the boys that was in our group, which I just met recently, like I heard about him. He's a mu'addab. Mu'addab, by the way, means well behaved. I don't like saying it in English, so if I say mu'addab, now you know what it means. Um, anyway, so I noticed that the way that he acted between me and my friend was completely different. Like to me, it was chivalrous, which I'll get to this word later because I really hate this word. And he was kind, he treated us with respect, and you could tell that there were boundaries, like there was an awkwardness, like we were afraid to talk to each other and whatever. While with my friend, he would joke with her, he would give her high fives, whatever. And that's because they're close and they know each other, and that's fine. Like, I have no problem with that. The problem that I had is that, in Islam, marriage is a big deal. Like, the whole idea is to preserve yourself for the one person that you love. And the way that I was raised, like, you know, if their parents are around, I don't really care. Like, I don't care if you high five or whatever. But it was just, obviously, they were flirting with each other. And for me, like, I was just raised you're not supposed to flirt with boys, especially if you're not interested in them, which I've heard from this person many times that she's not. So, anyways, so there was one thing that you did that really bothered me. Like, I sat thinking about it for months and months and months. This is gonna sound really stupid when I say it, but I guess if you're a Muslim, you'll understand, and I'll explain to you my train of thought. But he literally patted her head, like he was like, like this to her, and I was like, at first when I saw it, I took a notice of it. Like I noticed of it. Like something in my brain said, this is wrong. And then I was like, but then we were walking to the car, I was like, okay, this is weird, and I don't know what this is, and I'm confused, and this is just stupid. It's a pat on the head, whatever. Forgot about it. And then like days followed, and I was thinking about it and thinking about it. Like, is this appropriate? As a Muslim boy, are you supposed to pat a non-Muslim girl? Like, not a non-Muslim girl, a Muslim girl that wears hijab. She wears the scarf. That's what bothered me about it. Is that she wears the scarf. And you like patted her head, and he's like, is this right or is this wrong? was thinking about it and thinking about it for like the past month, and then yesterday before the Knicks game, my dad and I went to the Knicks game. Um, I finally got the nerve to ask him. I was like, Bob, I need to talk to you about something that's really important to me, and I just want to know, like, behavioral wise, what this means. Am I overreacting? You know, what's going on? And I told him the story about these two people and how, like, he patted her head. Okay, so I just got invited to another event, which really makes me excited because I don't go out with people and I really need to meet new people. But anyways, um, so it's like, what's going on? How does this work? Whatever. And you know, my dad was like, no, this is wrong. As I'm like, when I was younger, I would never have a girl's head that wears hijab, and I don't care how old you are, just don't. If a boy, he's like, like you know, I don't have an Egyptian accent. But if he's like, Mario, if a boy ever pats your head, you need to tell me right away. And honestly, I would tell my dad, like, I don't, that's not respectful. And let me tell you why I don't think that's respectful. For a boy to pat your head like this, and I thought about this even before my dad had, like, reconfirmed my thoughts, it just means that he doesn't respect you. What is it? With fingers. He doesn't respect you. He kind of looks at you like you're cute and that you're a joke and that he'll never take you seriously. I think I was like 5, whatever. And it's just not cool. And Islamically, you're not supposed to do that. I don't care if you're engaged. Even if you're engaged, okay? To me, in Islam, engagement means nothing. Honestly, engagement just means like you can hang out with parents around. To me, honestly, if you don't do that and you're older, you're like 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 and above, and you do this, that's fine. I don't care. Whatever. That's just my personal moral. And I know people that do this that are really well behaved, and I don't judge them, and you know, that's fine. You do your own thing. Um, but for me, when I come to get married, these are the rules. Like, I'm not doing anything different. But, okay, anyways. So, moving on to my next point, I found it interesting, like, getting into chivalry, this idea of chivalry. Like, to me, the idea of chivalry is a lie that basically gives men all the power, and let me explain to you my train of thought. Girls, I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, whatever. The idea of chivalry is embedded in your head when you are, I want to say 7 years old, okay? You are raised as a girl to know that the boy approaches you, and if the boy does not approach you, and you approach the boy, you're considered a slut. Like, you can't go randomly to boys and like flirt with them. It's not appropriate. In all cultures that I see, this is just what I've noticed. You disagree with that, that's fine. I have no problem with that, but this is basically personally my opinion. And if it were the other way around, you know, if a girl were to approach a boy, you just look bad. And I feel like this idea of chivalry, this idea that the boy is supposed to be chivalrous towards a girl, the boy is supposed to approach the girl with his family or whatever, is basically giving the boy all the power to make all the decisions. Like, we literally just have to sit there and wait for a boy to approach us, which means what? We have to do something to get noticed. We have to make sure we're cute all the time. We have to make sure that we're smart. We have to make sure that we're quote unquote petite. Like, if you're chubby and you know, have got like you have high self-esteem and you know you're awesome with a capital A, more power to you. I respect you so much. I personally, I have to run on the treadmill 4 miles every day. It'll bother me, and it's because of this idea of chivalry. But anyways, it's this idea. It just bothers me. Like, I told my dad, if I like the boy, which honestly, if I like the boy, I have no problem telling my parents. Like, my dad would be like, oh, that's cool, okay, nice, good to know. But like, if I liked a boy, I asked my dad, I was like, if I told you, how would that work? You can't just be like, oh, let's go to his house and like say, let's have a, you know, family dialogue or whatever. It doesn't work like that. And I think that it's really interesting to see this like power dynamic, the way that girls are supposed to act and the way that boys are supposed to act. And also at this event that I was at, I found also another thing that was really interesting, which I'm not judging. Let me just make a disclaimer that like, if you don't wear hijab, I'm not calling you a slut. I don't think you're a slut. That's, you know, more power to you. You have your own morals, whatever. I just want to notice that there are the girls that wear scarves, and there are the girls that don't wear scarves. And I just wanted to note it, like, to note the relationship ratio. Like, in this event, there were maybe 5 girls that wore scarves, and then there was like 20 girls that didn't wear scarves. And the 20 girls that didn't wear scarves, they were all engaged except the one. And the one girl that I know that wasn't engaged is actually getting engaged. I just heard that, which no one's supposed to know. That's why I'm not saying names. But anyways, and like the 5 of us, none of them in the group were engaged, or married. And unless you're like of the older generation, like unless you're like my mom. So I thought that was really interesting, and it's just for me at this age, I have to start thinking to myself when I deal, especially with Muslim boys, when I hate this computer, like I don't know what's wrong with it. When I deal with Muslim boys, I have to think to myself, do I want to flirt and like give the like idea that I am open and ready for the idea like for marriage, which I'm not at all whatsoever. I really hate the idea of marriage. Not for it. Don't like it. It's gonna take a lot for someone to like come to my house. If you have guts, talk to my father about marriage. Wow. But even if like my father approves and I approve because I'm like awesome with capital A, you know, good luck. But anyways, I lost my train of thought. But the point here is that I have to just start thinking about this because if I act in like this flirty way, then I'm giving the idea that I'm like, you know, okay with it. Or if I'm like acting in a modest way, which is traditional, which is what every other Muslim girl is taught, you know, like how do I want to act? And I think Muslim girls should be asking themselves the same thing, like how do you want to act? Even though, like honestly, I've come to the decision that even though I've seen girls that are flirty get engaged more, I will never act in this way because I have like my spouse, my future spouse, whoever the hell he may be, he has to respect me. I don't care if this means that I'll be alone my whole life. Like honestly, I have no problem with that. The word alone really to me does not mean like um, being alone. It means like alone spouse wise. It means like not having family around, not having friends around. And I have family around, and I have friends around, and I have, you know, a job, and I have college soon. It's just, I just, I just found it really interesting, like watching these Muslim girls and seeing how they're behaving, whether you wear hijab or you don't wear hijab, and seeing the reaction that boys have. And like, I don't like this idea that men have all the power. Like, I think it's so stupid, and the way that's just, like, I can't even offer an alternative because chivalry, this idea of chivalry, is so embedded in our culture. Like, is there another way to approach this? I don't even know. Um, Nor would I ever approach it the opposite way. Like, obviously, there's 2 ways: either the boy approaches or the girl approaches. I don't even know how both would work. But it's just really interesting, and I really enjoyed those people that sent me messages about what they thought for my last topic, which I'm not even remembering right now, but I read what you wrote and I thought about it. This is very Bardian, responding to what you see, but yeah. So anyways, if you want to send me your thoughts, what you think, that's great. I'd like to hear your opinion on the issue. Bye guys.